Friend, most men lose a woman's interest not because they're unattractive, but because of simple mistakes they make around beautiful women. These mistakes happen so fast, they don't even notice it. But women do, friend. And once you know what they are, you'll never sabotage attraction again. When it comes to attraction, one of the biggest blind spots men have is how differently they behave around a woman they find beautiful. Friend, many men don't even realize they're making mistakes that instantly change how she perceives them. Beauty can be intimidating, and when a man feels that intimidation, it often causes him to step out of his natural, authentic self and into behaviors that push her away. What I want to share with you today are 7 of the most common mistakes men make with beautiful women. These mistakes are subtle, friend, but they carry so much weight in how she feels about you. And the moment you stop repeating them, you'll notice that your interactions with women completely transform. Friend, the first mistake men make is putting her on a pedestal. The moment a man sees a beautiful woman, he starts acting like she's above him. He might laugh at things that aren't funny, treat her like royalty, friend, or suddenly change his tone of voice. He makes her feel like she's unreachable and that he has to earn her time instead of realizing she's just another human being. The problem is, when you pedestalize a woman, friend, you immediately communicate that you don't see yourself as her equal. And attraction can only exist between equals. If you treat her like she's out of your league, she'll believe you, friend. And once she senses that imbalance, she'll never truly respect you. The men who stand out are the ones who see her beauty, acknowledge it, but don't lose their sense of worth in the process. Friend, the second mistake men make is over-complimenting. There's nothing wrong with telling a woman she's beautiful. The problem starts when every other sentence is about her looks. Friend, constantly pointing out her beauty doesn't make her feel special. It makes her feel like you're overwhelmed by her appearance and can't see beyond it. The truth is, friend, beautiful women hear compliments every single day. What they rarely hear is someone noticing their intelligence, their sense of humor, or the way they carry themselves. When you focus only on her looks, friend, you blend into the background of every other man she's encountered. But when you compliment her in a way that shows you actually see her beyond the surface, you immediately stand out. Friend, the third mistake is trying too hard to impress. Many men think that in order to keep a beautiful woman's attention, they have to perform. They start bragging about achievements, dropping names, friend, or exaggerating stories to appear more important. On the surface, it looks like confidence. To her, it feels like insecurity disguised as a show. A woman is far more impressed by calm presence than loud performance. Friend, when you're grounded in who you are, you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to fill the silence with stories or inflate your accomplishments. A beautiful woman can feel when a man is authentic, friend, and she can feel when he's trying to win her approval. And the moment she senses your performing attraction fades, the fourth mistake men make is becoming overly agreeable. Friend, this shows up when a man thinks that saying yes to everything will make her like him more. He laughs at jokes that aren't funny, agrees with opinions he doesn't share, and avoids disagreeing with her in any way. Friend, the problem is when you do this, you erase your own identity. A woman may appreciate kindness, but she cannot respect a man who has no backbone. Friend, respect comes when you hold your own perspective with confidence and kindness, not when you fold just to avoid conflict. Attraction thrives on polarity, friend, and polarity requires two people bringing their authentic selves to the interaction. A man who always agrees may be liked, but he'll never be desired. The fifth mistake is nervous body language. Friend, many men don't realize how much their physical presence speaks before their words do. Fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, shifting too much, or slouching sends one message: discomfort. And discomfort is contagious. Friend, when you look nervous, she feels nervous. When you appear uncomfortable, she doesn't feel safe. Beautiful women are drawn to men who are grounded in their bodies, who take up space without apology, friend, and who move with intention. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you have to be comfortable in your own skin. The moment your body language communicates insecurity, friend, attraction dies before you even start a conversation. The sixth mistake men make is showing neediness. This can show up in texting too much, chasing too hard, needing constant reassurance, friend, or acting like her attention is the only thing that matters. Neediness communicates that you don't have your own life, your own purpose, or your own emotional balance. And while a woman may enjoy attention, friend, she doesn't want to feel like the center of someone's existence. She wants a man who is already complete, already fulfilled, and who chooses her because he values her, not because he needs her. Friend, when a man shows neediness, he unintentionally pushes her away because it suffocates her freedom and makes her feel trapped. Attraction grows when a man is independent, not when he clings. Friend, the seventh mistake men make is showing disrespect. This mistake is a deal breaker, and it often shows up in subtle ways. It could be interrupting her, talking over her, or dismissing her opinions. Friend, it could also show up in how he treats others around her, being rude to staff, speaking down to people, or making arrogant comments. A beautiful woman doesn't just watch how you treat her, friend. She watches how you treat everyone. Disrespect, no matter how small, reveals character. And once she sees arrogance, entitlement, or lack of empathy, attraction disappears instantly. Friend, respect is one of the strongest foundations for desire. Without it, no amount of charm or looks can keep her interest. Now, if you look closely, all 7 of these mistakes come down to one thing: insecurity. Friend, putting her on a pedestal comes from feeling unworthy. Over-complimenting comes from seeking validation. Trying too hard to impress comes from fear she won't notice you otherwise. Friend, being overly agreeable comes from fear of rejection. Nervous body language comes from lack of self-trust. Neediness comes from lack of purpose. Disrespect often comes from ego trying to cover up insecurity. Friend, women are incredibly perceptive, and they can feel this energy instantly. What truly attracts them is not perfection, but presence. Not performance, but authenticity. Not arrogance, but grounded confidence. Friend, so how do you stop making these mistakes? The answer is simple. You have to shift the focus back to yourself. When you value yourself, you stop putting women on pedestals. When you're confident in your worth, friend, you don't need to over-compliment. When you trust your own identity, you don't have to agree with everything. When you're secure in your body, your nervous habits disappear. When you live with purpose, friend, you don't come across as needy. And when you respect yourself, you naturally respect others. Everything starts with how you see yourself, because the way you see yourself is the way the world sees you. Friend, let me give you an example. Imagine a man walks into a room and sees a beautiful woman. He feels attraction, but he doesn't let it shake him. He approaches her the same way he would approach anyone else. Calm, friend, steady and authentic, he notices her beauty but doesn't flood her with compliments. Instead, he asks her a thoughtful question. He listens to her response without trying to impress or agree with everything she says. Friend, his body language is relaxed, he smiles naturally, and he treats the people around him with kindness. She feels his presence, his grounded energy, and his self-respect. Without him even trying, friend, attraction begins to build. Why? Because he avoided the mistakes most men make, and instead he showed up as his authentic self. This is what women crave. Not a man who worships their beauty, friend, but a man who sees them as a person. Not a man who performs for approval, but a man who is comfortable in his own skin. Not a man who clings, but a man who chooses with intention. The truth is, beauty is powerful, friend, but it is not everything. A woman's beauty may capture your attention, but it's your presence that keeps hers. And when you stop making the 7 mistakes that kill attraction, friend, you finally give her the chance to see who you really are. That's when real connection begins. So here's the truth: beauty might get your attention, but it's how you show up that keeps hers. Friend, when you stop putting her on a pedestal, stop over-complimenting, stop trying to impress, and stop being needy or disrespectful, everything changes. Friend, the men who win with beautiful women are not the ones who perform. They're the ones who stay grounded, authentic, and confident in their own skin. When you bring that kind of presence, friend, attraction doesn't just spark, it